Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. Parker, Sipple, Lincoln Journal-Star, HuskerExtra.com. Sipple, where are we?
We're in the bowels of Memorial Stadium.
We're in the bowels of Memorial
Yes.
Stadium. It's Tuesday. Nebraska's getting ready for Ohio State. Heard from both coordinators, a couple of other assistants, a couple of players today. This was 4 downs. The 4 most interesting things we heard. It wasn't a lot of hard news today, but interesting conversations. So let's start with Eric Shenander, number one. He said, you know, you might sort of, I think people watch Ohio State, they see all the talent, all the receivers on the field. They can really run it too. So this is a big challenge, not just because they've got 3 or 4 NFL guys at receiver, one of the best young quarterbacks in the country, but because they had a big physical offensive line and they can run the football too. It's hard to even know exactly where you're going to start. And Shenander did not want to get into that today, predictably, about sort of the first thing that you take away. But Ohio State's got plenty of directions to go offensively. That's what part of what makes it such a big challenge for Shenander and Nebraska.
I think the big thing that separates Ohio State from, say, Oklahoma is Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
Oklahoma has a couple good running backs, but they don't have a Travion Henderson. And that is going to be difficult to deal with.
Number 2, Matt Lubick talked today, offensive coordinator. You asked him, you sort of noted a downturn in Samori Toure's production recently. What did Matt Lubick think about that?
Yeah, Samori Toure started the season with pretty good numbers. Now, the last three games, he has 5 catches for 75 yards,
Sure.
which isn't terrible, but it's a little downward trend. And Lubick said it's mostly about progressions and Nebraska not getting through its progressions to where it gets to Toure. But he did say we need to get him the ball more.
There you go. Number 3, Mike Dawson today talked about Nebraska's pass rush. Nebraska hasn't rushed the passer very well. They got 2 last week against Purdue. They're averaging less than 2 per game.
2 sacks.
It's going to be really important, obviously, against Ohio State to make C.J. Stroud uncomfortable. And what Dawson said was the way that their defense is built this year, they clearly don't have a 10-sack, 8-sack guy on the roster. And so they've got to scheme some advantages, and then they've got to bring guys from a lot of different places. You know, it might be Luke Reimer 1 down or Garrett Nelson off the edge. You got to have a guy win a one-on-one on the interior, whether it's Casey Rogers or Ty Robinson, a guy like that, Ben Stilley. So it's sort of a group effort at this point. And that's they're going to have to find a way to make that work against Ohio State, even though they don't have one guy who they can say, okay, it's 3rd and 9. You know, we know that George Karlaftis or Zach Harrison or whoever it is going to get to the quarterback.
Really difficult conversation.
Yeah.
Because if he sits back, C.J. Stroud sits back there with time and those receivers and that tight end, Rucker,
right.
It's really tough.
Really tough. Number 4, Sean Beckham talked today. A lot of talk about Thomas Fidone, TJ's his dad. Thomas Fidone and the sort of progress he's made coming back from that knee injury. Beckham didn't sound like Thomas Fidone's in a place where it's ready-made and he's just ready to
No,
go.
he said he's not ready to play right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I asked him directly, can you get him ready for Ohio State? And he said, we'll see. And so, he portrayed it as a ways to go, and it's mentally. It's not physically. He said it's mentally, and it's getting lined up quickly enough, getting the call and getting lined up and not holding back the offense. I mean, that's not that he didn't say it in those exact words, but he said it's mental and it's about getting lined up.
Yeah, it's interesting. Frost said it in sort of a different way when he talked about Fidone. He just missed so many reps.
Yeah.
And when you're out from mid-April till now,
Yeah.
think about how many practices that is,
Right.
how many reps that is of getting the signal and lining up and doing all that. It's more of that than it is running routes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a much harder part of it.
Absolutely.
There you go. 4 downs, 4 most interesting things we heard today on Tuesday for Sipple and Parker. Thanks for watching.